Come hang out with me while we run an Amazon load. I'm going to take you through every screen you'll see, from assigning the driver to, the load being completed. We're going to go through everything in between. This load has a little bit of everything in it. It has a canceled leg. We have to do a callback request from ROC. And again, this is just going to really emphasize keeping that performance level high and protecting your money. You might be wondering, what authority do I have to speak on this? I am not saying this to brag, but I managed to keep my grade at 100% for almost 2 years. It's rare for me to lose a performance or payment dispute with them. And I'm just going to take you through and show you every step of my process. All right, just booked a load for later tonight. Here's where the clock starts. Amazon requires you to assign a driver to these loads. Now, current day, if you're seeing this right after I make this video, current day, you have 5 hours to assign the driver, 5 hours prior to the load starting, and then if the load were to be starting within the next 5 hours, you've got 30 minutes from when you book it. The reason I'm hesitant to throw out numbers like that is one thing is true with Amazon Relay, and that is they're always changing stuff. You see this video 2 years from now, they may have changed the time. They may have upped it to 6, 10 hours, who knows, but a good thing to know is, how soon do they require you to assign the driver? Current day, it's 5 hours. We're going to meet that metric here. This falls under your disruption-free metric. If you don't assign the driver in time, they will mark you down. First thing I want to do is, I just booked this. I want to come over here to trips. 2 ways to get here. Like all things with computers, probably 10 ways to do it. I prefer to do it on the web, but I come over here to trips and it defaults to this screen right here. I've got one upcoming. I have not assigned a driver. I haven't assigned a tractor. Another way to get there is through the app. You can come over here to the Relay app, go down on this little left-hand menu. I can go to trips and it's showing me the same thing here as soon as it loads. It's telling me to assign the driver, assign the tractor. Again, I just prefer the web, but there's multiple ways to do it is my point there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go back here to my home screen. I'm going to go back over to the web. I'm going to assign driver, which is me. One guy, one truck operation. There I am. There is the driver assigned. One thing I'll point out about this assigned tractor too, when you're just starting out with Amazon, I've worked with a couple people recently who are just starting out. Yours may not say this yet. It kind of goes down the whole line of after you've worked for Amazon, usually within like the first 30 days, they're going to say you need to verify an asset. I've made a video on that. I'll put a link to it. But if yours doesn't say this assigned tractor when you first start working, not to worry. After your first month, they're going to ask you to verify your asset, and then this field will come in there. But I'm going to go ahead and assign tractor. There's my eligible tractor. And I like to, let's see here, eligible tractor. It's not letting me pick it for some reason. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to reload this page. This happens sometimes. Sometimes it gets hung up. So you can see it defaulted to still having me assigned tractor. There we go. God, it's really not cooperating with me. There we go. And I like to get a screenshot of this screen right here. I'm going to toggle over to in transit. I'm going to come back to upcoming and be sure both of those things are in there. So a driver and tractor. I'm going to grab one more screenshot of that. The reason this screenshot is important, let's say sometime between now, so this is 12 hours before this load starts. Let's say sometime in the next 12 hours, Amazon comes along and changes something. They cancel a leg, they bobtail a leg, and they treat it like it's a new load. I can prove that I did my part. I can say, hey, Amazon, 12 hours and 15 minutes before this load was supposed to start, I did my part. You changed it, that's on you. But that's an important screenshot to have because they are notorious for coming along, changing something, retendering a trip, something like that. And with this screenshot, you've just protected that disruption-free portion of your grade. All right. Exactly 2 hours before the load starts. Here's an important screen recording to get. I'm going to take this screen and actively refresh this. And as soon as it refreshes and I see that first load that starts at 10:30 is still in there, that guarantees the TONU. Amazon could have canceled this trip anytime during the day and owes me nothing. But now that it's within 2 hours of the load starting, now if they cancel it, they owe me a TONU. And by virtue of the fact that I have this, I can prove that the load was still in my queue 2 hours before it started. So important screen recording to get there. All right, let's start this load. Made it to the truck. Trip is still in my queue. We're now, pretty much everything we're gonna do from this point forward is over in the relay app. So still in my queue. We're gonna shoot over to the relay app. And this first one right here. Now, before you hit start work, I don't want to assume that just because I use iOS devices, everybody does. I know on my iOS device, if location services isn't turned on, it actually prevents you from getting into the app. I've seen on an Android where you can still access the app if location services are off. You want to be sure and have your location services turned on before you start this trip, because this is where they're going to start tracking you. If your location services are off and you hit the start work button and start driving there, they're going to mark you down on app usage. So be sure the location services are on. I'm going to click this little start work button. I'm going to acknowledge this. I'm just throwing this in here because this is something that's happened to me. Sometimes it defaults to my truck, but sometimes specifically there's like an Indiana truck that I don't own and it'll default to that. If that ever happens, you want to hit change vehicle. And yeah, it just so happens mine are the only ones in there right now, but sometimes that defaults to a vehicle that you don't own. And if that does happen, to get the workaround for that is to hit that little change vehicle. I'm not bringing an empty trailer. This is a power only move, and I'm going to hit confirm. Okay. And it's going to start routing me to San 5. So I'm going to head there now. Here's something important to consider on your way to stop one of your, as Amazon would call it, your tour. This trip that I'm doing is a total of 4 stops. Getting to stop 1 is 100% on you. Amazon does not care if there's traffic. Amazon does not care if you get stopped at like a roadside DOT inspection. And I speak from experience on that. I was late one time to a load because I got caught at a roadside DOT inspection. Provided them all the information and they're like, nope, stop 1's on you. So just keep in mind, I mean, I do show up to a lot of these loads early. 1, because of that, 2, because I kind of just like to get like a jump on these loads. But just keep in mind that getting to stop 1 is 100% on you. Now, you know, a lot of people ask, well, what happens if after I get to stop 1, I hit traffic and everything like that? Amazon says that they'll cover it, but that's kind of what the evidence collection that I'm going to do throughout the night is kind of designed to help prove that, basically. So, you know, like let's say I get to stop 1 on time, but stop 1 delays me getting to stop 2, and that delays me to getting to step 3. Everything I'm going to go through in this night is going to show you how to protect yourself from exactly that. So we are getting ready to pull in the gate here to San 5. I'm going to show you on this how I've changed my practice on this. I used to get a single screenshot. I now am getting a continuous recording when I get close like this, and I'll fully explain it. Let's get up here to the gate, check in. Now from here, when you're close enough, I'm probably about 50 yards from the guard check. I'm gonna go ahead and hit exit. Exit navigation. You gotta acknowledge these do's and don'ts. I wanna point out this last one here, or this red one here. Do not cut seals. I think that's a trap. I really do think that's a trap. I've never had a site tell me to not cut a seal, but I think that they're just using that as an excuse for somebody who comes along and opens up a trailer and doesn't get permission to do so first, as a possibility to like punish you. So I'm gonna pull up to this thing. Now right here, after I hit acknowledge, it's gonna come up with this arrival successfully detected here at the top. That's what I used to get a screenshot of. That checks so many boxes. 1, I'm using the app. 2, I'm on time. I think they're gonna talk to me. Yeah, 1, I'm on time. 2, I'm using the app, and obviously I didn't reject the load. I'm actively working on the load. So I mean, there's that one screenshot proves 3 things. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good.
TONU Requirement.
I'm sorry?
Hello, do you have any pickup? Help me with the load ID.
Yeah, the last 4 is QBLS. Queen Ben Lima 7. Not 7. Yeah, QBLS.
Your load is not ready.
Okay.
Wait at the tractor parking 506.
506, will do. Thank you.
put on the surface, maintain the speed limit. Have a nice day. Thanks for turning off in the airplane.
Will do. Thank you. Of all the descriptors to say S, I say 7. He probably typed in 7. So my load's not ready. Here's why I keep this on a continuous screen recording. Let me come up here, get kind of out of the way. This selfie screen, they're going to require this at every stop. In fact, this is where I'm not going to show you every stop of this 4-stop trip because some of these things are going to be duplicates. But this is where a friend of mine was at this same screen where it says take photo, and he hit the take photo button and it immediately went to selfie failed. I'm gonna hit take photo. I want there to be proof that I'm doing this. I'm gonna take my hat off. They say no hats. Get ready to see the worst picture of me ever. Yep, can't get any worse than that. And as soon as it says success, that is where I'm gonna stop the screen recording at. On my friends, it went to that, it immediately went to selfie failed. And the problem with that is that if you fail a selfie, and that was obviously app generated for him, if you fail a selfie, they automatically reject every leg of this trip. So I'm gonna get a rejection from SAN 5 to SAN 3, SAN 3 to VCA 7, and then back to VCA 7 to SAN 3. They're gonna reject every leg of this. And my friend's thing, he had a screenshot of that, but they still took the stance of like, well, that doesn't prove that it went to that screen. That's why I do the continuous recording. So that selfie is gonna be asked of me at every single step. And I always do a continuous recording of that. So the load's not ready. They're saying my scheduled departure time is 11:01. I'm here super early. It's 9:45. I like getting to places early. I'm gonna go park somewhere in the yard and wait until my trailer's ready. The only performance dispute I've lost in the last 2 years came down to like an app malfunction. And they told me, even though it's their fault, even though the app like messed up and it technically, I'm not gonna get too far in the weeds in this, it wasn't an app problem, it was an ROC problem, but they told me that in none of my cases and none of my notes, I said anything about the app malfunction. This is something new I've just started doing, but as far as load notes go, if you do wanna put something in the load notes, now so far this load is going down as perfectly. But here's the thing, I don't know what's getting ready to come. I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, I could show you time and time and time and time again where the app has messed up and it's put me into a position where I've had to be fighting for my performance. Here's the verbiage I add to every load. And before you say, well, that's a lie, I'm saying what I believe. Nobody can tell me what I believe. I could tell you I believe in Santa Claus and you could be like, well, you're wrong. That's fine. It doesn't change the fact that I may still believe that. So to add a load note to something in here, I'm gonna go back over to the web. I'm gonna go to trips. And while we're here, we're gonna do two things. We're gonna go to trips. I wanna be sure, now this trip historically, there's these 3 things at the top, the upcoming, the in transit, and the history. It's always been in my upcoming trips. I wanna be sure it's in my in transit trips. I also wanna be sure that the gate checked me in right, and I'm gonna go down to this first leg, the SAN 5 to SAN 3, and the fact that I have a Y check in there at 9:41, that is Amazon checking me in. There's no way I can get a Y check-in on my own. I'm going to screenshot that. Here's why. If during this leg I have to call ROC and they're like, okay, we're gonna resend the trip to you, they can make that disappear. I just got into the yard and I want to have a record that I had a Y check-in for this VRID. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that on every leg. When I get over to SAN 3 and I get my Y check in there, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do the same thing at VCA 7. Here's the verbiage I like to do. This little text bubble down here at the bottom, I'm gonna click on this, I'm gonna add a note, and I'm going to say for this first load that I'm on right now, I'm going to say, I believe. Keep in mind, you can't tell me what I believe. Nobody can tell me what I believe. I believe app is malfunctioning. And I'm going to submit that. Now that's in the load notes. Should I need that verbiage later on, and if it gets to the point where the app does actually malfunction, at least now I have a track record. At least now I've kind of laid the groundwork for saying, hey, I think something's wrong with the app. Again, I don't mean to put that in there to lie. I don't, you know, I don't really see it as a lie. It's just the lack of that verbiage, those specific words, is what made me lose that performance dispute in the past. And I'm one of those people, you know, you beat me once, you enjoy it. You take in that victory, because you'll never beat me the same way twice. 10:15, I'm back there in the bunk. Relay app comes up with this screen right here. Current load canceled. I was hoping we'd get something kind of out of the ordinary tonight, and we are. I started the screen recording on this. I kind of want to show you what's happening here. So it says, you know, wait 20 minutes, call support if you haven't received an update by 10:33, and we're going to acknowledge that. And I just want to see what this next screen says. So I was on my schedule here. Let's resume work. And this screen is telling me, why is it asking me resume work? That's strange, it's asking me to assign my truck again. Let's see here, resume work, confirm. It's strange, it's asking me to pick my vehicle again. I'm gonna come over here to the web, go to my trips, and just see what they're doing with this trip. I want to know, did they just cancel this leg or did they cancel the whole thing? Let's go to in transit. No trips to show. History, no trips to show. That's very strange. Yeah, nothing in transit, nothing in history. If they're going to cancel the whole thing, you see why I got those screenshots showing that I did arrive, that I do that. See how they're nowhere to be found now? In transit, there's nothing. History, there's nothing. Upcoming, there's nothing. What are they doing here? Here's my trip. Okay, so that is now lined out. Why did they, see, this is why. Now let's just see on this lined out leg here. See how my arrival just disappeared? That's why I get screen recordings like that. That's why I do that. See, it looks like I've never even arrived, but I can prove I have arrived. Let's go back over here. Let's shut down the relay app because it's hung up on something. And I'm gonna get the message as soon as I reopen it saying relay app wasn't running. Resume work. Resume work. It just comes up with this confirm screen. Something's definitely amiss with this. Resume work, and it just goes to this confirm screen. I may end up having to call ROC on this. There's definitely something's not right. So, this might be one of those times I'm glad I have this recording going, just because this is Amazon shenanigans right here. I'm gonna work on a couple things. I'll check back in with you. All right, I just force closed the app several times, kept reopening it. This is the screen that I'm used to seeing. There's my truck. It is appearing there. We're gonna hit confirm, vehicle height, okay. And now it's directing me to SAN 3 for the next leg of this. I'm gonna go ahead and exit SAN 5, and I'll check back in with you when I get over to SAN 3. Stop 2 of this trip, arriving at SAN 3. Pulling up to the gate just like before. I'm close enough. I'm gonna hit the exit. I'm gonna acknowledge the do's and don'ts. And here is gonna be my arrival successfully detected. I'm gonna keep this going just like we did at SAN 5 till I get to the selfie screen. We'll see what the screen has to say. Glad I have that screen recording of me arriving at SAN 5. See how they just made that disappear? if you notice, what they did is they took this $181 load, and really the move going down to VCA7 is like a $180 move. They added the Sand 5, what I call a fluff leg, in there and canceled it, and now they're claiming, well, we only owe you I think it's like $66. They reduced it by $15. The fact that I have that screenshot showing that I arrived at Sand 5, that they canceled.
Welcome in. Can I have the last four reload ID, please?
Sure, it is JJ7X.
All right, your load is ready. I'm parked to sleep 80.
80. All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Load's ready. Almost an hour before I'm due here. That's good news. Here's this verify selfie screen again. We're gonna do another one of these. Keep this thing rolling. Slip 80. I'm just gonna get lined up over here so I'm ready to get it when it's time. Yeah, by adding in that Sand 5, what I call a fluff leg, and canceling it, they just saved $15. Now that may not sound like a lot, and it's like, you know, but imagine Amazon does that to every driver at every location. Think about how much money they're saving in a day. View pickup location, take photo, take photo. Another terrible picture of me. Success. Parking slip 80. 136. That is the trailer at parking slip 80. Yeah, so I mean, I'm glad I had the screen recording of that. One other thing I'm gonna do while I'm out of the way here, I'm gonna jump over here to the web, and just like we did before, I'm gonna go to in transit, because now this is back in transit again. And I'm going to be sure this Sand 3 to VCA7, there is my Y check-in, just like before. I'm gonna screen capture that. What if they cancel this next leg? I can prove that I arrived here and that I got a Y check-in here. So that's that. I'm gonna get lined up with this trailer, the trailer and slip 80, and I'll go over the trailer inspection. All right, I have safety inspected the trailer. I did a tug test on it. Let's get back to the next screen that this thing shows at here. So this is saying verify trailer ID. Put it on the back here. They put it also up on the front. It's gonna ask for the last four, which is 9136. Verify. It's gonna ask me, did I find any defects? I did not. And then it's going to say optional trailer body photos. I'm not going to submit any trailer photos to Amazon. If there was something majorly wrong with the trailer, I would do that. So I'm just gonna check this box and hit submit vehicle inspection report. It's then gonna give me my bill of lading, which I'm going to screenshot for my records, submit that. It's telling me the steps to go to my next place. I know how to get there. I've been there many times. Continue. And then it's gonna come up with a tap after checkout. There we go. It's important to not get ahead of yourself on these screens. This tap after checkout, does it happen all the time? No. But a lot of times you're supposed to tap this when you're on the other side of the gate. I have seen it be a problem for people when they go ahead and tap this now and they're still inside the yard that they're exiting from. You just want to keep everything, you don't want to get ahead of yourself in these steps. So I'm gonna leave it at this screen until we get at the gate, or get to the gate. I'm not submitting any pictures to Amazon for myself. I have an old GoPro just for this. I'm gonna walk around the trailer and just get like a video of this trailer. It's important to have these for your records. A friend of mine got in touch with me like 2 months after they had run an Amazon load, and they got a claim from Amazon saying that they owed $15,000, that the trailer had been damaged while it was in their custody, in their care, that type of stuff, and that Amazon was submitting them a bill. And the pictures that they had of the trailer saved them from having to pay that. So I have an old GoPro. I just walk around this trailer and just make a video of it, kind of, proof of life that, hey, it's still here at Sand 3. This is what it looked like. I'm also gonna do that at the drop off. So that's what I'm gonna do next. Just pulled out of Sand 3. did hit the tap after checkout, and now it's directing me over to VCA 7. Definitely important to stay on those screens. It can be a problem. I know people who have forgotten to take the selfie in the yard, taken it a mile down the road, and guess what? Now that's a selfie fail. Now they come along and say, you failed a selfie, we're gonna cancel all your subsequent legs to this trip. I'm heading to VCA 7 now. Not gonna show you those steps because this is gonna go down exactly how Sand 3 went down. I'm gonna get there, I'm gonna check in, they're gonna ask for a selfie again. I'm gonna drop this trailer off. I'm gonna bring a trailer back to Sand 3, but I will check back in with you when I am finishing this load up. Here we are leaving VCA 7, heading back to Sand 3. I may not have been too far off and saying the app was malfunctioning. I dropped the trailer I brought from Sand 3 off, attached the trailer I'm taking back, and here I find the app just sitting at this submitting vehicle data screen, just circling. It's important to get screenshots of stuff like this. It's important to get screenshots, screen recordings, whatever. I'm gonna see if I can go back. Okay, maybe going back fixed it. Let's just see if this, okay, there's my checkout code. See, it's little weird things like this. It's little things that, like, the Amazon relay system is not perfect, but every step of the way, you can bet that their default answer is blame the carrier. And it just, they've beat me on stuff over the years that it's like, no, it didn't happen that way. And the reason I do all these steps is it's like, okay, you beat me on it, cool, you're never gonna beat me on it again. I'm gonna get the screen recording of that next time. I'm gonna get the screenshot, and that's why I share stuff like this with you guys, so that you can see when it's happening to you, you're not alone. You can see somebody who kind of knows what they're doing go through it. It now cleared from that screen. I'm glad I have a screen recording of that, because if something comes back on me later, it's like I can say, hey, look, this is what I saw. This is what your app was showing me. So heading back down, unable to navigate. Yeah, see, this is just like retry. Unable to navigate. Let's exit. Navigate. I mean, I know where I'm going. I can see the building from here. It's just a mile down the road. But see, here's yet another thing. I may, when I get back to Sand 3, I may open up a case and show you what that looks like, just because I don't want them to hit me with app usage metrics later on. So I'm gonna head back to Sand 3, see what this thing says. I'll check in with you when we get down there. Force closed the app about 6 times, screen recording going during the whole time. Finally the navigation started working. Pulling up to the gate now. Let's go ahead and exit out of here. Acknowledge the do's and don'ts, get that arrival successfully detected, and see what the gate has to say to us.
Oh, sir, good night.
How's it going?
Can I have the last 4 of your drop-off, please?
Sure. It is YDDN.
And Bob's lot, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Look, we are rejecting empties right now, but just for this, I will actually send you to Sam on the drop-off, okay?
You're gonna send me where?
Sam 5, the building across the street.
Okay, it's actually carts. It's not an empty, it's carts. They switched me to carts at VCA 7.
Alright. Actually, even worse because we are rejecting all empties. All empty cars. But I will give you a drop-off location to Sam 5, okay?
Okay.
It's gonna be... It's gonna be point 717.
717, will do. Thank you.
Yeah, 717. You will be checked in and everything. Just instead of dropping off the trailer here, you will be at Sam 5.
I understand. Thank you. That's actually So they're redirecting me to Sand 5. I don't like that. But the cool thing is they went ahead and took care of it. It already has me pre-registered at Sand 5 to go over to 717. I can live with that. Usually this step requires a call to ROC, and that's where things can just really go sideways. So this is actually, I don't like what's happening, but this is like the most efficient way I've ever seen it be done, is they've already sent me to Sand 5. I know exactly what to do. Here's what we're gonna check next. We're gonna do a little U-turn here. Get in this line of trucks to get out of Sand 3 over to Sand 5. There we go. Here's what I'm gonna look at. When you come into the gate, regardless of, I haven't even dropped the trailer off yet, this trip should be in my history trips. So now if we come in here to, I had to look it up already, it's no longer in transit, it's in history. That means it's done, that's a good thing. Otherwise you have to do a trip completion status dispute, that's its own thing. I'm gonna get over to Sand 5 and go through the final steps of this thing and show you exactly what this thing looks like. Still at Sand 3, you know, out of an abundance of caution, I'm gonna turn on screen record here. Out of an abundance of caution, because when I was down at VCA 7 and that thing was unable to navigate, and I had to stop the app and start the app so many times, and I kept getting that warning saying the app was not running, the app was not running. I don't want any surprises. I don't want to wake up, I mean, usually it takes 24 hours for these things to hit the grade. I don't want to wake up tomorrow and find out that my app usage has been fraudulently moved down because the app was in fact malfunctioning, even though this trip's done. This is 99% of this is laying the groundwork of what's potentially coming. I'm going to request trip support on this. I'm going to say create a new case, and it's going to be on this last leg here, and I'm going to say app was malfunctioning, unable to navigate, had to restart app several times, and don't want this counted against my performance score. And I'm going to include, there's a chance to upload a file. I isolated off of that screen record. I isolated one of those where it said unable to navigate. I'm gonna include that into my case, and I'm going to submit that to ROC. Again, just laying the groundwork here. The trip's done. It's probably not going to be a problem, but I don't want to take a chance on getting surprised later. Still at Sand 3, here's ROC calling me back.
To improve our products and services, visit Amazon.relay to learn about our privacy commitments. A short survey follows this call. Thank you. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, hi, this is from Amazon ROC. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, thank you for asking me. I see that there is an issue with the VRID sending with Wi-Fi Yankee, 10 Delta, 10 Delta, and 12 November. What was the issue with this VRID?
That is correct. The issue I'm having is that the last stop, it came up saying unable to navigate. The app was malfunctioning, and I had to restart the app several times. Each time I did, I got the warning saying the app wasn't running, the app wasn't running. It's clearly an app malfunction. I just don't want this app malfunction to be counted against my carrier performance score. And so I'm just letting you guys know. I sent you a screenshot of what I saw, and I just wanted it to be like documented on your end so that I did so that you knew that I did my part.
Yeah, but the last leg, you were at the SCMA 5, right?
The last leg, this was coming from VCA 7 to SAN 3. The load now is done. It's in my history. I just don't want, I don't want to wake up tomorrow and find out that like, oh, you guys hit me with app usage when the app wasn't working.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. I'll upload everything on load notes. So this load cancel, and if you have any content, just request a dispute for that one, okay?
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, if you could just add that to the load notes, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, okay. Because in my system it shows it was cancelled, right?
The load wasn't canceled. No, I did the load, but it just the first leg of it was canceled. Yes, but the last leg of it went through, and it was and the app was not working. It was malfunctioning.
I got you. I'll update everything on load. So due to your app, it will delay. Okay.
Thank you so much.
I'll update everything on load. Yeah. Is there anything else that I can help?
Nope. That'll do it.
Thank you. Thank you for reaching out, Amazon. So please do let me call for this call. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
With your issue resolved on this.
And that is laying the groundwork for what could potentially come. All right, at Sand 5, dropping off the redirected trailer. Let's come over here to the app and close this thing out. We have inspected it. There were no issues with it. They're asking for pictures. Again, that is optional. Optional trailer body photos. I made the video myself of walking around just to protect myself from my own liability. As long as it's optional, I don't really submit anything to Amazon unless it's like major on there. I'm gonna select that. Submit inspection report, trailer detach complete. I'd like to get a screenshot of this. It just so happens I'm doing a continuous video recording, but I like to get a screenshot of this. Sometimes there is some question of, did the load, was there another step you're supposed to do? Was there another step? This is the ending screen. My drive was great, Sand 3 was great, tap to close, and you can see that this load now is gonna disappear from my app. My next load's loaded in there, ready to go in the queue. There's nothing else for me to do. I like to get that last screen in there just because it has been accused of me of like, well, how come you didn't do these subsequent steps? What steps were there to do? It completely cleared out. I'm glad we did this on this one. This had some stuff in it. I mean, the canceled first leg, that's gonna happen. I'm glad I have my Y check-in at Sand 5, that initial stop before they made it disappear, because I suspect that will help me win the payment dispute because they reduced the payout down a little bit. If they want to cancel it, before I get here, that's fine. But the fact that they had me check into Sand 5, I can prove I checked into Sand 5 and then they canceled that leg. It's like, no, you need to pay me for that leg because I was here. I'm feeling good about that payment dispute. Kind of a pain in the butt to do, but that's why I do all this stuff. Protected myself from liability, getting the little videos of all the trailers at origins, at destinations, proving nothing happened to me. And then finally the callback to ROC, just, I'm laying the groundwork in the event that, after midnight tonight, when the grade updates, if they hit me with app usage, it's like, well, look, the app was malfunctioning. I can prove it was malfunctioning. I contacted you telling it it's malfunctioning, but this load is totally done. If we go back over here to trips, it has always been in my history, but we're going to come over here to history. There it is in history. I don't need to do a completion status dispute, and that second load note they added, there's my initial one saying, I believe app is malfunctioning. The ROC agent has added their thing in there saying that I contacted them for that reason. So a lot of little intricacies with this one. If you think these steps are ridiculous, it's because Amazon has either beat me or beat somebody close to me with this stuff, and it's just kind of like, this has just been the culmination of 4 years. Is like 100% of the information gets sent to this phone. If I could just show Amazon that, they would see that I'm not wrong. And anyway, so that just, it may seem like a lot, but trust me, it's there. I share these with you just so that you can protect yourself too. But as always, hope this video serves you well. Appreciate you for watching. Take care.